Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Ravens flock. That was nothing but a game of emotions. This game was crazy. I'm not going to lie. This game was crazy. It wasn't the funnest. It wasn't the prettiest. But at the end of the day, the Ravens managed to pull out the 16-13 victory. They played Ravens football and got the job done. No Lamar Jackson. No Hollywood Brown. No Jimmy Smith, no Anthony Avery, no Brandon Williams. You're missing so many players. You're playing your backup quarterback who didn't even know he was going to play until he got on the bus to head to the stadium because Lamar was in such a bad condition. He was so sick he couldn't go. All of a sudden, Huntley's figuring out as he's heading towards the stadium, he's going to play because Lamar texts him, bro, go do you, man. I'll be watching. Go be great. For this man, not even knowing that he was going to play until he's heading to the stadium. For the team to miss their quarterback, their starting quarterback, their best receiver, because that is their guy they look towards in Hollywood Brown. That's the guy Lamar definitely looks towards. And missing two important corners. They go into Chicago and somehow pull off the victory. This game was crazy, man. First of all, the events leading up to this game was crazy because all throughout the week, we were hearing about Lamar being sick. We didn't know how that was going to go down. Then on Friday, he's feeling much better. It looks like he's going to play. He's not listed on the injury report. Then they put him back on the injury report on Saturday. He gets to the game on Sunday. We can visibly see he is not in any state to play football right now. So he ends up going out. And then they put in Tyler Huntley. You're missing multiple players. You just don't know what's going to happen. It's crazy all around. And with that, game was on. And we just had to work with what we had. It was next man up on the road in Chicago, and these guys just had to get it done. I saw a lot of Ravens fans complaining or just going off and panicking because, oh, Lamar's not going to play. We're going to lose this game. Are you sure he's sick, man? Couldn't you just give him something and let him get in the game? First of all, the people that were saying that were wrong to say that. If somebody's sick to the point where they can't go in the game, don't try to force them in there just to be like, oh, let's just have him play because if we don't have Lamar, we have no chance to win. You guys are wrong for that. For the people that were saying that, y'all are wrong for that. Then there were also people that were like, Huntley can't win this game. We're going to lose. People were already losing doubt in this game before it even started. I was one of the people that was saying, look, at the end of the day, losing Lamar is going to suck, but this is a team game. Now, Huntley, he's prepared for this. He understands the offense. He got some reps with the number ones, the starters during this week because he was the main quarterback in a couple practices since Lamar missed like 2 or 3 practices this week. So he got to play with the starters. They got to do some work. He was prepared in case he had to go, and he had to go. Let's put our faith in Huntley and let him go out there and do what he's got to do. The game plan is simple. Defense has to show up and make stops. Don't give up any big plays. Do what you got to do. Offense, you got to run the football, make some plays in the passing game here and there. Simple as that. I said that the Ravens can do that. They can win the game. And they would proceed to do that. So let's get into this game because we're 3 minutes in and we haven't exactly talked about this game. So offense today wasn't good. Offense was not good at all today. They struggled to get anything going consistently. They really couldn't get into field goal range that much. For much of this game, they pretty much were just getting beat. I mean, the offensive line, again, could not get anything done. It was frustrating to watch this offensive line time and time again do the same thing they were doing with Lamar, not protecting him. Huntley all day was getting pressured. I think he got sacked 4 or 5 times in this game. He was not getting protection because the offensive line could not protect him. He had no shot to get any protection. And it was unfortunate to watch, but that was the case. This offensive line has to improve. The good news is we did get Boyle back in this game. Although we didn't really utilize him that much, it's going to take time to work him in. He did have a drop in this game, which was unfortunate because I would have picked up the first down. But it is what it is. We'll work him in. But him being here on the offense is definitely going to help out with the blocking because he's the best blocking tight end in the game. So the offensive line's not really doing well in this game, and that's a whole problem. The receivers are trying to make plays. Occasional drop here and there, but the receivers are trying to make plays, but there's no time. Huntley's trying to get something going. The quick throws, it's not connecting. In fact, there were a couple throws that Huntley missed that he should have had. There were some easy throws he should have had, and he knows he missed them. It is what it is. You're going to have some missed throws here and there, but, he tried to make some plays throughout the first 3 quarters, try to get something done, and there was just not much coming out of it. We had moments where we were able to get into field goal range and we were able to capitalize with some field goals, but other than that, we just couldn't get anything going. So pretty much the first half, we couldn't get anything going for the most part. It was a bad game. It was a bad game offensively. Defensively, they were having the game of their season. I mean, they looked like the same defense that went up against the Chargers. They were stopping everything. They were forcing turnovers. They were doing exactly what we needed the Ravens defense to do. They were frustrating Justin Fields the entire time. He couldn't get anything going. It was a straight up struggle for Justin Fields today. Couldn't get anything going. Pressure in his face all day. He had a couple throws that he made that were nice, but there were also a bunch of throws that he could have made and a bunch of plays that he left on the table. There were 2 throws down the field that he should have been able to connect with because the receiver was open, and that would have been a big play if not a touchdown. Unfortunately, he missed those for the Bears. So it is what it is. They really frustrated Justin Fields. They put a lot of pressure on him, forced him to try to take what the defense can give him, and they were making stops. So they really did a great job shutting down Justin Fields for the most part. And pretty much, the Ravens, they had the lead. And then all of a sudden, Justin Fields is just done for the day. And here comes Andy Dalton. And I kid you not, I called this out on the live stream. The minute Andy Dalton would hit the field, I said, watch, they're going to score a touchdown here because Andy Dalton always does this to our defense. I don't know why. He just does this to our defense. As I say that same drive, they would proceed to get a 60-yard touchdown. Defense gave up a play. I don't know. They missed some tackles. It was bad. They gave up a huge play. All of a sudden, we had a 6-0 lead, and all of a sudden, we're just down by 1. It's a 7-6 game. And we are struggling, man. We are actually struggling. We had an opportunity to score a touchdown before halftime. Couldn't get it. Had to kick the field goal. But all of a sudden, all the work we were doing to put up those points didn't matter because the Bears were able to score a quick touchdown with Andy Dalton. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, if this defense don't get it together, we could be in serious trouble. Luckily for us, the defense would manage to get it together. They would not give up a touchdown for the rest of the game. They held that Bears offense in check as much as they can. Andy Dalton was still getting them in range to hit field goals, but for the most part, they couldn't get the end. They couldn't find the end zone at all. So the game is going back and forth offensively. Huntley's not getting any protection. He's trying to make plays downfield. Can't really get anything going. The short passes, they're trying to do something. They're trying to establish the run game. They tried to utilize Latavius Murray. They utilized him. He was relatively nice, but they gave most of the carries to Devontae Freeman. They're trying to slowly work Latavius back in, so that's cool. But the running game wasn't exactly the best, but it was coming up with something. And the passing game wasn't, again, the best for much of this game because we were put in a lot of third and long situations, and we haven't been good on third and long situations even with Lamar. So I'm not going to sit back and expect Huntley to be able to help us in those type of situations. So, yeah, it was really rough for much of this game. Just a lot of punts, a lot of incompletions, a lot of plays that just couldn't be made, and penalties that were screwing over both the Bears and the Ravens, It was tough. It was a gritty game in Chicago. It was a truly gritty game in Chicago, and things were not looking good. Ravens, had a chance, man. They had a chance. Well, actually, mistake here. I said they would not give up another touchdown for the rest of the game. That is my mistake here. They would give up another touchdown, but I wanted to save that for the end. But Baltimore is still, they managed to take the lead again with another field goal. And then they keep going at it, man. They keep doing everything in their power to just keep this game in check and get it to where it needs to get to. It's a 9-7 game. And we get to the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden it's like, man, here we are. Fourth quarter, it's been a gritty game, but we're up. All we got to do is hold these guys off. Coming down to the wire, it's 4th down and 11. By the way, I do got to give credit to the defense. Once again, defense for much of this game played sound. They executed. They gave up some plays here and there, but they really executed and did a good job for much of this game. So I was not mad with the defense. In fact, I don't really have anything bad to say about this defense. I have an issue that we're going to talk about relatively soon, but I didn't have any problems with this defense because they did what they needed to do. By the way, player of the game, Tyus Bowser. Tyus Bowser is the player of the game. This man was all over the field today. He was making plays left and right. He was getting sacks. He was doing everything he needed to do to help this team win. So shout out to Tyus Bowser, player of the game. He showed up. He balled out. But yeah, defense is doing their job for the most part. All of a sudden, we're in the fourth quarter. It's a 9-7 game. And all the Ravens really have to do for the most part is just hold on. Hold on. Do not give up a big play. Do not give up anything severe. Just hold on. Well, we see the times ticking in the fourth quarter. It's coming down to the wire. The Bears are within range to kick a field goal potentially, and it's 4th down and 11. And I'm sitting there thinking, all right, 4th and 11. All you got to do is play some zone coverage here maybe. Don't give up anything over the top. So force Andy Dalton to have to throw the ball underneath and then see if somebody tries to make a play to pick up the first down. But for us, just force him to throw it underneath and make the tackle. Game's over pretty much then. Instead of that happening, for some reason, Wink Martindale decided to send an all-out blitz on 4th and 11. Why did he do that? Why did he send an all-out blitz? I want someone to seriously answer that question because I was angry when he did that. Why did he send an all-out blitz on 4th and 11? It was 4th and 6 originally, but the Bears got caught with a false start penalty. So that backed them up 5 yards. So why are you playing an all-out blitz on 4th and 11? That has not worked out for us every time we've done that. Hell, week 1 against the Raiders, we did that. Guess what? It cost us the game in overtime. So why are you doing it here? This coaching staff, man, I'm telling you, coaching, I still got questions, man. I got a lot of questions about Greg Roman, and I'm starting to get more and more questions about Wink Martindale. Coaching today was very questionable for me. They still managed to pull it off. Credit to them, but coaching was very questionable. I need to know why Wink Martindale decided to send an all-out blitz on 4th and 11. That made no sense. And it almost cost us the game because Andy Dalton would throw that ball down the field and it would result in a touchdown. All of a sudden, we're down by 4. It's a 13-9 game. Oh boy, 13-9, huh? We're already struggling. We can't find the end zone at all. We can't get in the end zone. And now we're down by 4, under 2 minutes, and now we got to go down the field and score a touchdown. It felt like game was over, man. It really felt like game was over because our offense was struggling. But I got to say this, man. Rashad Bateman is slowly becoming our Torrey Smith because this guy is finding ways to get pass interference calls. He got 2 in this game. So he's finding ways to initiate pass interference, and he did on this drive because Huntley went for Bateman, initiated the pass interference. Then they're trying to make plays. They're running down the field. And then with the biggest play of the game, I don't know how Huntley got this out, but he threw that ball down the field to Sammy Watkins. And Sammy Watkins made the play of the game for the offense. He gets down inside the 5, and all of a sudden, we're in business. It's 1st and goal. We got to get in. We got to score a touchdown. It's crazy. So 1 minute, we're sitting there pissed off because Wink Martindale sent an all-out blitz on 4th and 11, and now we're down by 4 with an offense that's been struggling to even sniff the red zone. And now, all of a sudden, on this drive with the game on the line, Tyler Huntley comes up clutch, gets us to the goal line, and then they hand the ball off to Devontae Freeman. He runs in, touchdown, we take the lead. All of a sudden, we're up 16-13, and now we just got to rely on this defense to make a stop. Huntley came out clutch, man. He came up clutch. That offense came up clutch when they needed to. But shout out to Huntley, man. That was a hell of a throw to Sammy Watkins. That was the best throw he made all game. I don't know how he got that to Watkins. And shout out to Watkins, too, for making that catch because that was a little bit of a tough catch. So shout out to Sammy Watkins. Shout out to Tyler Huntley for making that play happen. My goodness. I was shocked. And then I looked at the Bears and I'm like, you guys really are incompetent. How did you let this happen? Nagy has to be fired after this. This was terrible. You got to really consider Matt Nagy getting fired after letting this happen. You had them. You had the Ravens down. All your defense had to do was do exactly what they've been doing for much of this game. But instead, they cracked. They broke. Nagy, man, he might have to go, man. He might have to go. This might be his last season. They might have to fire this man tonight. Who knows? But, yeah, they get the ball to Devontae Freeman. They get in the end zone. Touchdown. We're up 16-13. And all we got to do is hope the defense can make a stop. And the defense does. Now, they do give up a lot of yards towards the end, which ends up putting the Bears near midfield, which means they can go for a Hail Mary with Andy Dalton, who could definitely get the ball out there, which I didn't understand why they were giving up that many yards. But at the end of the day, they were trying to make the Hail Mary attempt. But again, the player of the game in Tyus Bowser said, no, thank you. I'm putting this to bed. And he sacked Andy Dalton, and that was the game. So offense struggled for much of this game. Couldn't really come up with a lot of points. Couldn't really convert on third down. Was struggling to get anywhere into the red zone. And then they came up clutch at the end. Defense played well for most of this game, besides two situations. One, giving up the big 60-yard touchdown, and the other was on 4th and 11. Then again, I'm not going to fully blame the defense on that 4th and 11 play. Yes, Stevens did end up giving up the touchdown, but at the same time, Stevens is not really supposed to be playing there. So, yeah, I believe it was either Stevens or Westry that ended up giving up that touchdown. But at the same time, it's like they wouldn't even be in this position had they had Jimmy Smith and Anthony Averett. Averett will probably be the one that's out there covering that. So it's unfortunate when you got when you're dealing with a team filled with injuries and you're dealing with your backups and your rookies coming into play. What can you do? I mean, Stevens is a rookie. He was thrown into that situation. He didn't make the play, unfortunately. But yeah, other than giving up those 2 touchdowns, the defense did their job and they held up. And honestly, without the defense making the plays they did, we would have had no chance to be able to win this game. So shout out to the defense. Shout out to the offense for coming up clutch. And coaching, I still have my questions. I don't trust this coaching staff. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, I'm looking at both of them. I don't trust Wink Martindale right now because he's too blitz heavy. He's too blitz obsessed. And it feels like it's going to cost us down the line. I don't like what I'm seeing from Greg Roman in this play calling. I have issue with the coaching, but this isn't the first time I've said it. But yeah, Ravens managed to get the win. And we'll see what happens next week. Next week's going to be important because it begins the final stretch of these games. These last 7 games are tough. Cleveland next week on Sunday Night Football, then Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, then Cleveland in Cleveland. Then you still got to deal with the Packers. You got to deal with Cincinnati, and you got to deal with the Rams. I mean, and then you got to deal with the Steelers to end off the season. This is not going to be fun. So we got to get it going right off the bat, Sunday Night Football, against the Browns, who are coming to Baltimore. So we'll see what happens next week. Hopefully Hollywood's fine. Hopefully Jimmy will be fine. Hopefully Anthony Averett will be fine. Hopefully Lamar Jackson will get better, and we'll see all these guys play on Sunday night against the Browns. But yeah, Ravens get the win. It was spectacular. It was great how they managed to come up clutch. I don't know how they pulled it off, but it was amazing. But yeah, it's every week with this Ravens team, it's some sort of heart attack that they're giving the fan base. But hey, they're 7-3. Despite everything that's happened, they're 7-3. They're still first place in the AFC North, and they're second place in the AFC. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got for this. We'll probably be discussing the coaching staff and the coaching, not even the coaching staff. Well, the coaching staff as well as the play calling and some of the decisions that we're seeing Wink Martindale make. We'll talk about that somewhere down the line this week, so look out for that. But with that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.